You're now with me, Razi Ahmad, for TVS Nightline. Here are the headlines for tonight. The Sarawak government has no plans to build a nuclear power plant to generate electricity. Meanwhile, Sarawak is set to realize its vision of generating electricity through kinetic energy from ocean waves by next month. And also, Sarawak has attracted 4.2 billion ringgit in approved investments in the first quarter of 2024. Two bills related to Bintulu Port were passed by the Dewan Rakyat earlier today. The bills are the declaration of an area in the Bintulu district to be a federal port repeal bill 2024 and the Bintulu Port Authority dissolution bill 2024. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Fadillah Yusof said the approval of these two bills is also in line with the Port Authority's Ordinance 1961, which states that all ports in Sarawak are under the jurisdiction of the state government. Meanwhile, Transport Minister Anthony Loke said the process of converting the status of Bintulu Port to Sarawak State Port is expected to be completed by early next year. He said the change of the port's status will be enforced once all related matters, negotiations and agreements between the federal and the Sarawak governments are finalized. The Sarawak government has no plans to build a nuclear power plant to generate electricity. Sarawak Premier Datuk Patinggitan Sri Abang Joritun Openg said this is because Sarawak is blessed with ample natural resources for electricity generation.
No.
Why should you use nuclear if we could hydro?
He spoke at a press conference after the MEDA Invest Series Sarawak event in the capital city earlier today. Elaborating further, Abang Johari said Sarawak is currently utilizing 8 energy sources, with 5 of them being renewable energy sources. These sources include hydropower, solar energy, power to gas to power or P2G to P technology, biomass from fuel, hybrid solar and wind energy, and wave kinetic energy. In a similar development, Sarawak is set to realize its vision of generating electricity through kinetic energy from ocean waves by next month. Sarawak Premier Datuk Patinggitan Sri Abang Joritun Openg said that the prototype project will be launched in Bintulu in August. Speaking at the launch of MEDA Invest Series Sarawak on Wednesday, Abang Johari said the project would be implemented on a 3.5-kilometer jetty in Bintulu, adding that if the project proves to be successful, Bintulu would be the first in the world to utilize the technology to generate electricity.
And the other one is KINETIC. KINETIC, next month I will launch this KINETIC prototype in Bintulu using the wave. The wave will produce energy having this, turbine. Wave turbine that will produce energy. In other words, we have 3 sources producing green energy.
The Premier stated that this new method will enhance Sarawak's green energy capacity, complementing its solar and hydropower. In addition to that, he said Sarawak also has gas reserves and is exploring the potential of carbon capture, utilization and storage, or CCUS. Sarawak has attracted 4.2 billion ringgit in approved investments in the first quarter of 2024. Investment, Trade and Industry Minister Tengku Datuk Sri Zafrul Abdul Aziz said that this achievement has put Sarawak in 4th place in terms of value of investment flow.
Such achievements reflect the forward-thinking vision of none other than the Premier himself, who has guided Sarawak through global trends and challenges since 2017. This has ensured that the state not only keeps pace with developments, but also leads in a few sectors.
Tengku Zafrul said Sarawak's ambitious green energy agenda and transition towards a low-carbon economy is highly complementary to the national level strategy on green investments, new industrial master plan and IMP 2030, and National Energy Transition Roadmap or NETR. In addition, he shared that many electrical and electronics E&E and chemical companies have established their presence in Sarawak, which in turn created spillover opportunities for small and medium enterprises and Sarawakians. He also revealed that from 2021 to March 2024, about 80% of manufacturing projects approved had been implemented. He added that MITI has been focusing on revamping the whole industrial and investment ecosystem, including incentives, talent, infrastructure, as well as institutional mechanisms as a whole.
We have also rolled out several funding initiatives, including the Domestic Investment Accelerator Fund, we call it DIAF, and the Foreign Investment Accelerator Fund, FIAF. These funds will support high-value economic activities, as well as encourage innovation, automation, digitalization, and ESG practices among local manufacturers and service providers.
The 21st Sukma and Para Sukma in Sarawak have secured over 13 million ringgit in total sponsorship. State Minister of Youth, Sports and Entrepreneur Development, Datuk Sri Abdul Karim Rahman Hamzah, announced that 27 sponsors from various government-related bodies and companies have contributed to the success of the 2024 edition of this prestigious national sports event.
Thank you. We appreciate the contribution and support for our platinum, gold, silver and bronze sponsors comprising of distinguished corporate bodies, statutory bodies and government-linked companies. Apart from that, we also have 6 official partners, among others, Malaysia Airlines, our airline partner, Grab for our e-hailing partner, Kris Sakti for our merchandise partner, Rapid Bus for our transport partner, TVS and RTM for our official broadcaster.
He said this during the Sukma and 21st Para Sukma Sponsorship Appreciation Ceremony held at the Sheraton Hotel in Kuching earlier today. Abdul Karim emphasized that this collaboration not only ensures the smooth running of the national sports event, but also enhances the quality of sports in the country, aiming to produce champion athletes on the international stage.
As we look ahead, we are confident that with continued support from sponsors like you, we can further elevate the standard of sports in our nation and empower more of our young athletes to excel in the various fields.
Meanwhile, Abdul Karim reminded athletes representing Sarawak to compete for their state and not just to chase after rewards. He said this when asked to comment on whether Sarawakian athletes participating in the upcoming 21st Sukma Games this August would be rewarded if they win any medals.
Well, definitely we will not forget incentive. Kalau atlet kita menang, mestilah ada insentifnya untuk emas, untuk perak, untuk gangsa. Tapi pada masa ini kita tidak memberi penekanan kepada itu sangat. Saya mahu melihat atlet itu menang, berpandukan kepada mereka memang mahu berjuang untuk negeri dan juga untuk negara, bukan untuk imbuhan. Ya. Tapi we will not forget.
The much-anticipated Kuching Jazz 2024 is making its comeback after 2 years, with this year's edition to be held at the Grand Margarita Hotel Waterfront. Among this year's lineup includes Swave, Sang Timor, Ziavi, Arul Ariel, and also international artists from abroad. Cheryl Shaminato, who was at the pre-launch earlier tonight with the details.
All right, thank you, Radzi, from the studio. You're now with me, Sholshmato, and I'm currently at the Putri Lobby Lounge of Riverside Majestic Hotel, where earlier tonight, the pre-launching of the Kuching Jazz 2024 was just launched earlier tonight by the chairman of SEDC, Tan Sri Dato' Amar Haji Abdul Aziz Dato' Haji Hussein. Now, this marks the beginning of an extraordinary celebration of jazz music, where earlier tonight, with a speech made by CEO of Hemisphere itself, the Tourism and Hospitality Division of SEDC, we should just announce this event for this year. Mr. Mark Ferguson mentioning that this will place Sarawak as the forefront of events, and with Kuching Jazz 2024 this year, is thrilled to announce that it will be a celebration of jazz, music, culture and community. Now this year, especially this year, will be overlooking the Sarawak Majestic River. Now, Kuching Jazz 2024 will take place on Friday and Saturday, this coming 4th to 5th October 2024, held at the Grand Margaritas Kuching's waterfront, and it will be overlooking our Sarawak River this year. Now, this event traces its roots back to the year 2017, when it was known as the Kuching Waterfront Jazz Festival. Now, later rebranded as Kuching Jazz Festival in 2022. Now, this will be spearheading these parts and efforts in these endeavors of the festival to expand the tourism and hospitality events, not only in Kuching but also in Sarawak. Right, that's all that I can share with you, Radzi. For more updates, stay tuned to TVS's official website at tvsarawak.my, and of course all of TVS's social media platforms. And I'm with me, Sholshmato, and videographer Awang Azmil for TVS Kuching. Over to you, Radzi.
Back on TVS Nightline, a total of 32.8 million ringgit will be allocated annually for the routine maintenance on the Pan-Borneo Highway. Works Minister Dato' Sri Alexander Nantalingi said the approval for this phase allocation has been made considering the feasibility for the current year and to ensure the road remains safe and comfortable for all users. He said the ministry would appoint a concession company through a privatization agreement to carry out maintenance works, which would include routine maintenance, periodic pavement work, non-pavement periodic work, and emergency repairs as needed.
Di bawah skop kerja penyegaran rutin, pihak konsesi yang dilantik perlu melakukan rondaan pemeriksaan rutin jalan persekutuan dengan kekerapan 2 kali seminggu. Ini adalah untuk memastikan jika terdapat sebarang kerosakan jalan seperti jalan berlubang. Jadi, atau kerja tampalan lubang hendaklah dilaksanakan dalam tempoh 24 jam selaras dengan dasar Kementerian Kerja Raya yang melancarkan dasar sifar lubang atau zero potholes di jalan persekutuan seluruh negara.
He said this during the question and answer session in the Dewan Rakyat earlier today. He was asked by Sarawak MP Dato' Ali Biju on the ministry's long-term planning for highway management, types of road maintenance, and the allocation amount for maintaining the Pan-Borneo Highway after the project's completion. Additionally, Nanta said penalties would be imposed on the concession company if their response times exceed the specified limits. The Malaysian government reiterates its commitment to a transparent judicial process under international law against parties responsible for the tragic downing of Malaysia Airlines flight MH17. In a statement commemorating the 10th anniversary of the downing of Flight MH17 today, the Ministry of Transport said the government's resolute that the process must pursue truth, justice and accountability and is committed to seeking justice for the families of the victims.
MOT also reiterates its deepest sympathies and condolences to the families and loved ones of the victims of the tragedy. Meanwhile, the European Union EU also reiterated its call for Russia to accept responsibility for the downing of MH17 and to fully cooperate in serving justice. The High Representative of the EU for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy, Josep Borrell, said the EU reaffirms its full support for all efforts to establish truth, justice and accountability in accordance with the UN Security Council Resolution 2166. Borrell said the EU emphasizes that the evidence presented by the joint investigation team in the proceedings before the Dutch District Court makes it clear that the Buk surface-to-air missile system used to bring down flight MH17 belonged to Russia. He said the EU takes note of the proceedings initiated by the Netherlands against the Russian Federation at the European Court of Human Rights, as well as the proceedings initiated by Australia and the Netherlands before the Council of the International Civil Aviation Organization. The Boeing 777 was en route from Amsterdam to Kuala Lumpur on July 17, 2014, when it was shot down in the eastern part of Ukraine, killing all 298 passengers and crew on board. On November 17, 2022, The Hague District Court sentenced 2 former Russian intelligence agents, along with a Ukrainian separatist leader, to life in prison.
Standard Chartered, or Stanchart, has maintained Malaysia's gross domestic product (GDP) growth for 2024 at 4.8%, aligned with Bank Negara Malaysia's projection of 4 to 5%. Its head of Managed Investments and Advisory Malaysia, Ng Shin Siong, said this projection, however, has not taken into consideration the future measures on subsidy rationalization.
Meanwhile, on the ringgit, Ng said Standard Chartered is forecasting the ringgit to strengthen to 4.66 level against the US dollar by year-end, backed by the expectation of 1 to 2 interest rate cuts in the United States. He further said that investors should take note of the shifting winds in Malaysia, as the investment outlook in the country has improved with the FBM KLCI notching a 12.7% rise year-to-date.
Gold reached a new all-time high of $2,487.25 per troy ounce on Wednesday. The physical price of gold at 5 p.m. stood at 358 ringgit 61 cents per gram, up from 4 ringgit 41 cents from 354 ringgit 20 cents at 5 p.m. on Tuesday. Analysts are closely monitoring upcoming U.S. statistics, which heavily influence gold prices.
August gold futures on the New York COMEX exchange rose 0.52% to $2,480.6 per ounce, having earlier peak at $2,487.25 per ounce. Meanwhile, gold futures contract on Bursa Malaysia derivatives has continued to close higher on Tuesday, tracking the movement of gold prices on the New York Commodities Exchange. Volume jumped to 29 lots from 5 lots on Monday, while open interest soared to 36 contracts from 12 contracts previously. As of July 15, the price of physical gold was at $2,421.25 per troy ounce, according to the London Bullion Market Association's afternoon fix.
Back on TVS Nightline and on to world news, 6 foreign nationals were found dead in a luxury hotel room in central Bangkok on Tuesday, with police suspecting they were poisoned. Thailand's Prime Minister Srettha Thavisin said all 6 of the deceased were Vietnamese, 2 of whom had dual U.S. nationality.
เบื้องต้นจากการที่เราดูจากสถานที่เกิดเหตุไม่มีการชิงทรัพย์ไม่มีการประทุษร้ายเกิดขึ้นนะครับสันนิษฐานเบื้องต้นก็ขึ้นอยู่กับการผ่าชันสูตรพลิกศพกับกองพิสูจน์หลักฐานจะต้องดูว่าเรื่องก็สันนิษฐานไปที่เป็นเรื่องของจะทานอะไรเข้าไปหรือเปล่าเมื่อเปิดเข้าไปเนี่ยพบว่ามีผู้เสียชีวิตในเบื้องต้นมีผู้เสียชีวิตก็รีบมาแจ้งทางผู้บริหารก็ติดต่อแจ้งไปทางสน.
The case was reported at 4:30 p.m. local time after cleaning staff discovered the bodies when they arrived to make up the room on the 5th floor. Srettha arrived on the scene shortly after. He said it was believed a 7th Vietnamese person could have been involved in the incident. The chief of Bangkok's Metropolitan Police Bureau, Tvs Nightline, said the guests had failed to check out of the hotel that afternoon. A preliminary examination found no evidence of injuries related to a fight or theft, but suggested all 6 had ingested a toxic substance. Earlier, a police officer, speaking in condition of anonymity, denied initial reports that the 6 had been killed in a shooting, saying the investigation was currently focused on the link with a toxic substance. Some of the 6 foreigners appeared to be on their first trip to the country, while others appeared to be return visitors. In a statement, the police said they were still investigating the scene and cause of death. Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah warned on Wednesday that his Iran-backed group would hit new targets in Israel if more civilians are killed in Israeli strikes on Lebanon. The Lebanese movement has exchanged almost daily fire with Israeli troops in support of its ally Hamas since the Palestinian militant group's October 7 attack on Israel triggered war in the Gaza Strip.
إن التمادي في استهداف المدنيين سيدفع المقاومة إلى إطلاق الصواريخ واستهداف مستعمرات جديدة لم يتم استهدافها في السابق.
Lebanon's state-run national news agency said Israeli strikes in the south killed 5 people, including 3 Syrian children, on Tuesday. In response, Hezbollah said it launched rounds of Katyusha rockets at northern Israel. The United Nations Children's Agency, UNICEF, described as horrific the killing of the children, who were reportedly playing in front of their home at the time of the strike. Nasrallah warned Israel of the consequences of any invasion of Lebanon, saying Israel would be left without any tanks if a full-blown conflict erupted. The Israeli military said last month that operational plans for an offensive in Lebanon were approved and validated. Nasrallah, speaking during Shiite Muslim Ashura commemorations, also pledged to assist thousands of Lebanese whose homes have been destroyed by cross-border fire.
أيا يكن الدعم الذي ستقدمه الدولة اللبنانية لأهلنا في القرى في الجنوب وخصوصا في القرى الأمامية، نحن نؤكد لأهلنا الذين هدمت بيوتهم بالكامل أو بشكل جزئي، نحن سنعمل وإياكم يدا بيد وكتفا بكتف، وبكل وضوح نحن نطلق هذا الوعد كما أطلقناه في السابق. سنعيد إعمار بيوتنا ومنازلنا، سنشيد قرانا الأمامية كما كانت وأجمل مما كانت.
According to an AFP tally, since October, the cross-border violence has killed 511 people in Lebanon, mostly fighters, but also including at least 104 civilians. According to authorities on the Israeli side, 17 soldiers and 13 civilians have been killed. The violence, largely restricted to the border area, has raised fears of all-out conflict between the foes, who last went to war in the summer of 2006. Tenacious D frontman Jack Black has cancelled the comedy rock group's tour of Australia and New Zealand after his bandmates stoked outrage with a quip about the attempted assassination of Donald Trump. Guitarist Kyle Gass said, "Don't miss Trump next time," when asked to make a birthday wish while playing in a packed gig in Sydney over the weekend, part of the band's Spicy Meatball tour.
Don't miss Trump next time.
While the jibe drew laughter and applause from the crowd, it swiftly sparked controversy when posted online. Posting on Instagram on Tuesday, Jack Black said he was blindsided at the show on Sunday, adding that after much reflection, he no longer feels it is appropriate to continue the Tenacious D tour and that all future creative plans are on hold. Management company Frontier Touring said in a statement that 4 remaining shows in Australia have been cancelled, along with 2 dates in New Zealand. It added that all purchased tickets will receive a full refund. The band's biggest hit came in 2002 with the track Tribute, which fans commonly refer to as the greatest song in the world, a reference to its tongue-in-cheek lyrics. Gunman Thomas Matthew Crooks opened fire at a rally in Pennsylvania on Saturday, a near-miss assassination attempt that left Trump bleeding from his right ear. See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news updates both locally and internationally. For more headlines anytime, anywhere, just head on to our official website at tvsarawak.my or follow us on our social media platforms at TV Sarawak. And those were the updates on TVS Nightline. I'm Razi Ahmad. Thank you for watching and have a good night.